Jake Reiner, good morning, my friend. How are you?
You found me, Owen. You know, Houston may be the most diverse city in the country, but this is the most diverse radio place in the country. This is Radio Row. Check this out. This place is massive. Right behind here is Sports Radio 610, where all the athletes, celebrities, former athletes are doing their radio hits every single day. There's a ton of tables that they can go to. I'm just going to show you how massive this is as we walk along here. You can see the Patriots radio station over here, the Falcons radio station.
Now that, ladies and gentlemen, is a productive member of society. Everybody clap it up. Clap it up, man. Shout out productive members of society who actually put forward some effort to try to be something, okay? That, ladies and gentlemen, is none other than Nick Reiner's brother, Jake Reiner. And that was just an old clip that I found of him when he used to work as a news anchor. I think it was a sports news anchor or something like that. But the guy's had many jobs. He's done acting, he's done newscasting, he's done all types of things. And I just feel like it's insane that the whole family, regardless of nepotism or not, or your father pulling the strings, let's just say his father pulled the strings for everybody in the family. Out of the whole family, Nick Reiner has to be the one that's the absolute fuck up. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's cool too. You could be the fuck up of the family, but why are you killing the breadwinners? That's what doesn't make sense to me. But anyways, I wanted to talk about Jake Reiner because he finally made a statement. I think it's been about it's been some months since the stabbing murders of Nick Reiner's parents. So let's see what he actually had to say, because the family's been really close-lipped about this for obvious reasons, you know. But he finally came out and said something on CBS News. So let's go ahead and check this thing out, man. So I was unable to find any video of him speaking about it in particular. It'll probably come out pretty soon. This happened pretty recently, right? So we'll probably get more information about what he said. But this is going to be my first reaction along with you guys because I just saw it on my radar and I figured we're covering all things Nick Reiner. Let's see what this has to say. It starts by saying, Rob and Michelle Reiner's son, Jake, speaks about his parents' death. My world as I knew it had collapsed. And that's how they start the article. So let's see what it says. Jake Reiner, son of Rob and Michelle Reiner, spoke out on Friday for the first time since his parents were brutally killed in their Los Angeles home in December, detailing the moment he learned what happened. In a post to Substack, Jake said he was at the celebration of life for one of his best friends when his sister, Romy, called to tell him that their father was dead. Moments later, he wrote, he found out his mother was also killed. And this is actually the quotations that they got from his Substack. My world as I knew it had collapsed. I was just in a trance, Jake said. The only thing I could focus on was that I needed to get my childhood home. I needed to get to my sister. I needed to figure out what the hell just happened. And this is the thing, like, Nick Reiner's such a fucking loser that he's the only one that seemed to like live with his parents, so which there's nothing really wrong with it, but he had the outhouse in the back. He was always getting drunk. He was doing all types of drugs, smoking weed, doing dumb videos. Imagine all your brothers and sisters, you know, they left and spread their wings and newscasters, this and that and the other, and you're just a fucking bum in the outhouse. I feel like this kind of also, like, you know, they say it was insanity and he was out of his mind, but I feel like there's a little spark of jealousy that Nick had just about his entire life. He hated that he was the bum of the family. He hated that people liked his family. He hated that his brothers and sister was successful, and he lashed out finally. That's what I feel like actually happened. You could give me the out of his mind medication swap up mumbo jumbo all you want, but I'm not buying that bullshit. But anyways, even like the Thanksgiving dinner we spoke about. Remember they were saying how grateful they were and everybody was just a little too happy for Nick, so he threw something at his dad. There's a form of jealousy this entire time, but let's keep going. He said he then took rideshare services from the funeral in downtown LA to his family's in Brentwood home, which he called unendurable. He quoted, "Nothing can compare you for what it felt like to lose both parents instantly at the same time," he wrote. It's too devastating to comprehend. I still wake up every morning having to convince myself that no, it's not a dream. This truly is my living nightmare. Rob and Michelle were found dead with stab wounds on December 14th, shortly after their son Nick was arrested on suspicion of murder. Nick was charged with 2 counts of murder in the first degree in a Los Angeles courtroom in February. He pleaded not guilty to both charges. Rob Reiner, director of iconic films such as Stand By Me and When Harry Met Sally, was 78. Michelle Singer Reiner, an accomplished photographer and film producer, was 70. Yeah, I think, he liked getting fucked up. He liked doing drugs. And you know what? Fuck you, Dad. You're so... everybody likes you. Bill Hader likes you, and that nighttime show everybody in Hollywood likes you. Everybody, you have all this power. Fuck you. That's what I think this really was. And nobody likes me. Because remember, he tried to do his own little podcast and do his own little thing and explain his drug journey and stuff. Everybody kind of got the ill from him. People later on said, yeah, he wasn't really. Everybody was a little uncomfortable with him around. That's why he hated his parents, in my opinion. But we'll see where this trial goes when it actually finally starts. Let's keep it pushing. Jake then wrote about his grief and described his relationship with his parents. He only alluded to his brother, not mentioning his name at the end of more than 1,600 word post. We lost more than half of our family that night in the worst, most violent way imaginable, Jake wrote. Sure, any loss of a parent is devastating, but nothing compares to losing both of them at the same time, and on top of that, having your brother be at the center of it. It's almost too impossible to process. I understand that people have questions about what happened. Some of those answers will come in time, but some parts of this belong only to our family, and keeping them private is the only way to protect what little remains of something that was taken from us. And those little details that he's talking about is probably the fact that everybody knew in the family and in the friend group, because, we have friend groups and group chats and all this. Everybody knew that Nick was a little jealous motherfucker. And his brother might as well call himself lucky for avoiding that happening to him possibly. But I don't know. It could be medication. That's the narrative that they're trying to push. The medication had him loopy. He's insane. He lost his mind. He doesn't know what he's doing. You guys let me know what you think in the comments, man. But I'll be back real soon. Until then, everybody, stay inside, stay safe. Peace.